Hey guys, and welcome back to another open discussion of Ghost Recon Phantoms. Well, the question of the hour, or the day, actually the question for many weeks now has been, what assault rifle is better for the assault class, the Asval-H SV WDG or the AN-94 SV Halloween? In fact, I've been asked this question in-game numerous times. I just played a match a couple of hours ago where my fire team member asked me, in my opinion, which is better. I've gotten this question posed to me in a private message and on YouTube in the comment section. And I've seen this question asked actually just everywhere pretty frequently. So I think it's worthy of being answered and worthy of just addressing the differences. I mean, rare is the case where weapons are so profoundly good, and they're both really, really good weapons, where you actually have to debate the validity of one versus the other. But let's just bear in mind when I'm discussing this that at the end of the day, this is just a matter of preference. At the end of the day, this is just a matter of preference. But certain things will be true objectively and others not. Now, they're both excellent assault rifles, but the thing is that they really have very different functions. That is to say, even just looking at the stats, we can see that the AN-94 for an assault rifle, 56 damage, is pretty heavy. It has more stopping power per bullet. It's got a much lower fire rate. It's got 244 less fire rate. Magazine size slightly more. Accuracy 1 point more, okay, and control a little bit more as well, but we'll get into that in a bit. Ready time's the same, armor piercing, etc., etc. Okay, so we really see, just based on the stats, that the AN-94 SV is an assault rifle with substantial stopping power, extremely accurate, and decent control. Okay, what about the Asval-SV? Well, we can see doesn't have a lot of damage per bullet, but that fire rate, 884. Extremely high fire rate for an assault rifle. And we have to look at the stats again here. And we will compare them again. Here we go. Magazine size smaller, accuracy 1 point less. That doesn't really make a huge difference. Control slightly less, but that fire rate. But looking at things on paper, or in this case on screen, oftentimes is not sufficient and enough to get a sense of things. I mean, obviously we know the direction things are going in. You would just say, okay, ASVAL is more for CQC, it's true, and AN-94 is more for long range. That's absolutely true. I have no idea who this Feuerritter guy is, but whatever. But going in the fire range will help us, clarify this a little bit more. Now, the AN-94 is built for long range. It is an assault rifle, sniper rifle, basically. It's insanely accurate, and I've talked about this before. The burst fire is ridiculous. The burst fire is just it can take out snipers and for example, if you're going up against snipers long ranges of say 70 meters or more, I definitely would go with the AN-94. It's just, look at that. It's just so accurate, so little recoil, even at 100 meters. And you can really just counter snipers pretty well. And even at 60 meters, you might want to use burst mode. That's great. And even a full auto, obviously at 60 meters is, you're going to have a lot more recoil, obviously, but it's very controllable if you're any decent at controlling weapons. And yeah, medium long range, it's really, really good. Thing is though, the Asval SV, you think high fire rate, okay, but it's pretty damn good at range as well. I mean, medium range, it's still fantastic. I mean, it just shreds enemies at medium range. 60 meters, boom, dead. Even at long ranges, you can try full auto. I mean, in game, it's impractical to go full auto. I mean, I can do it here. It rarely ends up being like that. In game, I'll probably at 100 meters with the ASVAL, or say 70 meters or more, I'm going to switch to semi and just feather it. But yeah, you can see it's still just laser precise. and accurate as hell. But of course, it lacks the stopping power, and it makes up for it in DPS. But for, I mean, this range is not a range you'd probably be engaging in a lot of the time anyway. It's rare as an assault unless you're just camping and sniping, in which you would use the AN-94. That you'd be using the Asval. But at the end of the day, folks, the Asval SV has a lot more all-around battlefield application than the AN-94 does. It beats it in the DPS department. The Asval has, this is approximate, somewhere over 630 DPS, and the AN-94 has just below 600. But it's also another practical thing about it is it's just kind of more of a run and gun weapon. I mean, you can just, just run and gun, just like that. If you need to get behind cover, it's going to be super accurate as well at almost any range possible. It's gonna be a laser gun pretty much, and yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that overall, if you had to choose between the two, and you can only get one, the Asval Watchdogs, the SVA Watchdogs is the way to go. I use it 80% of the time when I'm using assault rifles. If I'm on certain parts of Metro or certain parts of Robotech, or just Robotech for the hell of it, yeah, I'll take the AN-94. That said, I can take this on any map. You can use the Asval SV on any map and still do really well because it's got that accuracy. It's got, even at longer ranges. I mean, you're not going to really be doing a lot of stuff at over 60 meters, but even at over 60 meters, you're going to still be pretty effective overall, especially if you just feather it. You still got that accuracy, and the control is there as well. Another practical thing is the larger ammo pool reserve. Let's have a look here. I mean, the Halloween weapons, first off, let's look at this. You have an ammo pool of 200 total and 160 reserve. That's useful, right? Reload time 2.5. Okay, switch to this. Have a look here. Slightly longer reload time, but look at the ammo pool. Total of 135 and only 90 extra. This was, of course, intentional. No doubt Ubisoft wanted to make, with the exception of the Mark I, we can talk about that another time, pretty balanced weapons. I mean, the AN-94 is great. It's powerful, but why is this guy talking to me? But it's got limited ammo, and sometimes that can be a problem. The Asval SV allows you to go the distance further. The AN-94 was intentionally limited in a sense because they didn't want to make it overpowered, and they thought, I'm just guessing here, but I'm thinking it's an educated guess. I think that they just thought, well, if we give it an ammo pool of 200, it's going to be totally OP. We can't have that. We're just going to leave it at a total of 135 and just have a reserve of 90. So basically 2 extra clips worth. For me, and I think for the majority of people, the answer to the question is the Asval versus the AN-94. The Asval SV Watchdogs is going to win. It just has far more overall battlefield application than the AN-94 does. The AN-94, I mean, it's not that you can't use the AN-94 in close quarters. You can. It's good. It's just that the Asval SV does a much better job at that. It's got a higher DPS. That's what's going to count in close quarters. And in medium ranges where a lot of firefights take place, the Asval is just as good. It has just as tight a spread pretty much. It fires more quickly, so the effect, it seems that the recoil is less. Yeah, AN-94 is a great weapon if you can afford it or want to have it just for the sake of having it. I like using it sometimes because it gives you that special feeling when you're using it. I mean, no other weapon has this insanely unique burst mode in the game, and it makes it a pleasure to use because it's so unique. The Asval has a much more conventional feeling. It just feels like a rapid fire assault rifle. There's nothing special about that. It's kind of a better version of the F2000. It's basically a buffed F2000. But that said, it's still insanely effective and really good. And Yeah, hands down the ASVAL SV watchdogs. And now, as many of you know, probably why the question's been coming up so often, it's available again in the normal armory, I believe, as well as as well as Athena, and yeah, as well as the other these new well, the old inserts are available in Athena again, the variety ones. Anyway, I hope that answered the question. I didn't want to ramble too much, but the deal is, yeah, the AN-94, fantastic weapon, but hey, for overall battlefield application for 90% of the maps, you're going to be perfectly fine using the Asval-H SB. It gets the job done. It can fill almost every role the AN-94 can, with the exception of super long-range anti-sniping. Then I would take the AN-94. The Asval SV Watchdogs is your friend. Get it now while it's still available, and I will see you guys hopefully soon for another open discussion. Everyone take care, and bye-bye.